This is a public service announcement. This is a public service announcement. What you're about to listen to may make you yell, shout, smile, and even laugh out loud. Youth baseball players, coaches, and fans join the S.L.I.D.E podcast crew on their journey to make baseball fun again. Hear stories from players of all ages, plus tips and tricks from coaches and scouts. Now, if you're ready, give us a loud play ball.
Play ball!
Play ball!
I think that worked. I think that's good. Well, welcome back to the S.L.I.D.E podcast, everyone. And this is the episode that I think I've been looking to probably the most. And I think some of our listeners are really excited about getting a chance to hear this one as well. So this episode, I'm Coach Aaron, by the way. Today we're talking to baseball travel ball moms. And yeah, we talk about it on the show a lot with the drama and all the fun stuff that happens. And I thought we needed some expert opinions on the show. And what better way to do that than have some of my friends hop on and have some conversations. So I want to introduce everyone. I want to give you guys a chance to tell a little bit about yourself. But joining us today is Renee, the baseball mom. Hi, Renee.
Hello.
Chow, the baseball mom. Texas, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
And Gadir from Raising
Hi.
Ballers. Hi. And Tracy Bond, we couldn't finish this without you. So hello. All right. Well, we have got a lot of really cool, fun stuff to share. And look, we usually start the show with just some talking points, but honestly, let's just throw that out the window and let's just get started. So, Renee,
let's do it.
I know it.
Oh,
So,
boy.
Renee, you're first up. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from. How long have you been playing baseball? I'm just kidding.
I love the song, right?
I know it.
What's your walk-up song?
Yeah. Oh, girl, I got that ready.
She's ready.
Right?
She's ready.
Right.
All right, but
The
look,
bat,
tell
my
us a little bit.
bat.
Tell us a little bit
Yes.
about yourself, where you're from, and let's just stay in the theme of what's your favorite cereal. We
Okay,
always
sounds
ask
good.
this.
That's
Yeah.
really loaded. So hey everyone, I am Renee. I'm on Instagram known as Renee the Baseball Mom. Some of you may know me because my son is Mateo the Baseball Kid. So he actually has been a member of the S.L.I.D.E podcast family for quite some time, and a field reporter as well. So I've had the chance to work with Aaron on several pieces of content, but also meet in person this past summer at Banana Ball, which was huge and amazing. Aaron, you slayed that. Unbelievable. I can't wait for us to get back out there and do that again.
Yep.
That was great. So, but yes, I guess just a bit about me. We've been doing organized baseball, so starting with rec ball at 4 years old, t-ball, and from that first signature of I'll be the team mom, started then. And then dude fell in love with the game as you hope so. And I want to say 7U was our first stint with travel ball, local organization here in the South Bay. He joined there and just kind of, shell shocked. Roster of 16 kids, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like herding cats. And how do you even, have something 7U that's travel ball that's like elite level, right? And so, you don't know any better, so you join, and the adventure started there. So we have moved, different organizations. We've, gone into training and development, and me personally, just on the travel ball mom journey, has learned so much. And I think one thing for me, getting to like how we're content creators is just, I never want him to be like a basket case, like, so just my life depends on travel ball and my results. I wanted us to be able to take our fun moments and how, we just see these certain things and we apply them to content. And if other people relate to those things and can get a peek to our crazy lives, then we just feel like we're making an impact on the game, even just a little bit, if the right person sees it. So I think that's kind of where we've got to where we are in terms of travel ball content. And it's brought the kid and myself some pretty cool opportunities, in terms of meeting like the Valley Boys and being cast on their show. And,
So fun.
of course, just different, connections with like Bruce Bolt and Baseball 101 and just different brands that are really, really cool that excite the kid, Plate Crate and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what the adventure, what it looks like. But that was never the intent. It was literally just to have fun with baseball.
Well, that's it. I think all
That's it.
you ladies do that in different ways, forms, and so. All right, Tracy, you're up next.
So my name is Tracy. It's at Tracy Bond on Instagram. I am a certified personal trainer, group trainer. I teach a lot of senior fitness as well as youth athletes. And we have been in travel ball in and out. We started with rec about 6U, and then obviously COVID hit. And so we went into coach pitch, and then we ended up with a development style travel ball team, which I will forever be grateful for. I mean, I look back, we lost every single game, but I think it taught my son at that age that winning is not the most important thing. He was very humble when he lost versus, same thing when he won. And we were with a organization here in East Texas for a while. And he recently just, kind of wants to pick up. We left our old organization um, due to some issues, and we kind of just wanted to take a break. He does mountain bike racing a lot too. So it's kind of hard to pick and choose. And, when he came to me about just saying, I need like time to step back, I was like, let's just enjoy it. Especially coming from myself, I played the game for a long time, and I want them to just, like Renee said, your value is not in that game, especially when they're so young. I want them just to enjoy it. So,
Amen.
Miss Chow.
Hello, my name is Chow. My Instagram handle is Baseball Mama _Texas. I have two boys. I have Bradley, he's 9U, and my older one is Mason, and he's 12U. We are new to the Houston area. We started baseball Little League in Connecticut, where select ball really isn't a big thing. One day Mason was swinging a wiffle ball bat in the backyard, and we're like, hey, he looks actually pretty decent. Do you want to sign up for T-ball? And that's how our journey started. And then Bradley just kind of followed along in his footsteps. We moved to Texas, immediately signed up for Little League for both of them. And someone said, hey, do you want to sign up Bradley for a tryout? And I'm like, for what? And they're like, for select ball. And I'm like, what is that? I'm like, okay. Went to try out. We got an email, and they're like, "Hey, you owe $300." And we're like, and they're like, "You have 24 hours." And we were like, "We have no idea what is going on. We literally had no idea."
Yeah.
So now they're both in travel ball. Bradley going on his
They got her.
season with his team,
she was
and
hooked on like a fish.
season. And I'm like, okay, so now this is our life. And I started the Instagram page just thinking like, let me just put all their little fun stuff on a page. And then I made a silly reel about how stressful I was when Mason started kid pitch. And that reel just kind of went off. And I'm like, hey, a lot of people can relate to this. So we'll just continue. So yeah. And my favorite cereal is Kellogg's Toasted Crunch with almonds.
Oh, there's a cereal.
That's a new one. That's a new one.
Forgot my cereal.
Yeah, Tracy, what's your cereal?
Cereal.
Cereal. I'm like even Googling. But yeah.
What'd you say?
Fruity Pebbles.
There we go.
Oh,
That's
No,
Lee.
you did that.
Question. I missed the question.
What's your favorite cereal? Go ahead, Renee. Go ahead,
type
Renee.
A. I'm very type A. We got to answer all.
Man, favorite cereal. It's going to be like such an old lady grandma cereal. Don't make fun of me.
Frosted Flakes.
Oh my gosh. Is it that like brand stuff?
It's the raisin one.
Raisin Bran.
Cracklin Oat Bran.
Stop.
Cracklin Oat Bran is fire.
Oh my God. You are
It's
hilarious.
just like oatmeal
That's-
cookies.
Oh my goodness.
I've never tried that. So
Try
Same.
it.
Fruity Pebbles is winning right now with
Fruity
cinnamon
Pebbles.
toast.
No, Cocoa Pebbles are better. Cocoa.
Cinnamon
Oh,
toast
Fruity
crunch is like a
Pebbles.
second though. Cinnamon toast is running
That's
second.
in
So
I do
reference
love
to
cinnamon.
a show.
He doesn't know that. He probably.
I
he's
know. I
probably
don't think
never seen
anyone
that
picked up
show.
on that.
no,
Okay,
what?
Aaron, have you
Yeah.
ever seen Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? Okay, ask your
No.
wife about it.
Yes.
I still haven't seen it
She
either.
hadn't
Don't feel
watched it.
bad.
Should we
Oh,
watch it?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Oh, yeah.
And
Is
you'll
it a reality
understand the
show?
Fruity Pebble.
You'll
Yeah.
understand the Fruity Pebbles.
Okay.
But I will say,
Everyone
like,
listening right now is
yeah.
Googling right now. So.
Yes.
Yes. What are they talking about?
All
Google
right.
the
Like,
mom
We're
talk.
down.
Google the mom
We're
talk.
down to our last introduction. And Gadir, ma'am,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks
I'm
for having
great.
us on the show. I'm really excited about it. So I am the founder of Raising Little Ballers. And I actually didn't start it as anything. It used to be called Ball Boys. My kids wanted to start an Instagram selling t-shirts. And they wanted to make all these shirts or whatever. And then I tried to help them and then they didn't want to do it anymore. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take it over and so I just called it Raising Little Ballers. And that's how that started. But it was just like me, like documenting their journey. And it was my oldest at the time. He was 9, I believe. And just started travel ball. And, I walked into complete chaos and I was like, what is this? And, my husband played baseball all his life and he was like, travel ball is very new. This is not what it was. This is not, there was no. He was actually one of the, he grew up overseas and he played in the Little League World Series in Poland.
Oh, wow.
That's so cool.
And so for
That's so
him,
cool.
this is like, this whole travel ball world is just nuts.
I bet.
So yeah, well, I just learned how nutty it is, being in this for the past few years. And so that's how I started Raising Little Ballers.
All right. And if you had a favorite cereal, what do you think it would be?
I don't eat cereal, but Cinnamon Toast Crunch, maybe.
Oh, see, I just gave her that answer. She stole that. She's trying to take over my Fruity Pebbles.
Well, my kids eat that one, so I'll, but.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, look. So thank you, ladies, first of all, for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. I know we're going to have a lot of fun. So I think the first question is like really, what's been the biggest difference? Because I think each one of you ladies have acknowledged this is what's been the biggest difference going from rec ball to travel ball? Like as a parent, what have you noticed the biggest difference are or is?
Okay, who wants to go first?
I mean, because I guess as I brought it up, I'll take that one first. I mean, for me, the biggest thing is, again, it's the parent element shows up in a different way, at least in my community. So the parent element is very involved. You got board members that are very involved with making things happen and organizing it. And then, of course, then you get I'll go ahead and say it, the perception that there's nepotism and favoritism and there's this
no, never.
Yeah, never those kids making the all-star team over like kids that are actually better, like that never happens. So and again, I say perceptions because I can't be the decider on that, but you get
perception
that
is reality. That's how I look at it.
Aaron said it. I didn't.
Yeah.
But the idea is, at the same time, I understand you're a board member, you're putting in the work, and sometimes it's a lot of work and you're willing to step up and other people aren't. So you feel like your child should have access to certain opportunities. I mean, that sounds like a whole show, right? Like we could talk about that all day long.
Oh, yeah.
And then of course the dads usually, I'm sure there are some moms, but dads are pretty much the coaches and they are running the draft and they are making the decisions. And same thing. I'm the coach. I'm going to put little Johnny, my son. He's going to be the pitcher, even though he can't pitch. He's going to be shortstop, even though he can't run. Right?
Y'all want to know a funny story? Moms are not allowed to coach in my area.
For real?
Really? Why?
For real.
Why?
I even offered to like one of the guys. We ran into each other at the gym.
That's
and he's on the board. And I was like throwing out there like, oh, if y'all ever need like help with like the volunteers, it's like I played softball and I played tournament ball for a long time. I was like, I wasn't some just, nobody. And he's just like, yeah, we really don't have any moms coaching. And I was like,
Okay.
That is so
huh.
weird.
And it was odd
like, what kind of
because I
sexist
said,
mean stuff
you
is that?
there's so many moms in this area that a lot of us have played at like a high level of softball that, we still know certain tips and tricks with the game and everything. But I thought, oh, so it's like a boys only type club for that
Well,
kind of
That's
thing.
did you
crazy.
take
That is
that
crazy.
statement one step further and say, that's fine, but I'd like to be the first?
No, I should have.
Ooh.
I said something a little less PG.
So yeah, go figure, right? And I'm sure
And then
that
and
isn't
then
an
I
actual rule. It's just
yeah.
a social rule, and like that's the stuff I'm talking
Mhm.
about.
That's
Yeah.
stupid. That's too
But
I mean,
as
we
far
stupid.
left Little League because of the whole daddy ball stuff. And we
right,
left so young. Like Vinny shouldn't, I mean, being 8 years old, 7 and 8, you should still play Little League. You should
Yeah.
still be in that world of like, instead of jumping from tournament to tournament and like tryouts and all this stuff at 7, I just, it's the dads are ruining it
It
but
completely.
It got too much.
it's the dads coaching where you're not quite sure. And again, I would like to think that they mean well, so I don't think every dad that volunteers is going in there thinking they're going to favor their child. I'm sure there's dads that
Yeah.
actually their kid probably actually gets the reverse effect, like they probably get less because they're so focused on trying to not show favoritism. But I do
Yeah.
have a story because it's funny, Gator, that you said that 7 or 8 is when you guys left, right? Same.
Yeah.
We left at 8 years old because I was just like flabbergasted about like, I guess the injustice, if you will, that I observed. And there was an
Yeah.
incident where there was a player who was like a bigger boy and he was rounding third base during a game and just slapped the third baseman in the face. Like I have it on camera on my GoPro.
Oh my God.
And this kid had demonstrated
Like on
other behavior
purpose?
issues in the past, like throwing his helmet, kind of like scoffing and
Mm.
kicking dirt at the umpire. And it's like there were
Oh.
clear set conduct rules on behavior. And it's like, yes, he was a kid. He's a year older than Mateo. So I want to say he was 9 at the time. So still a little kid. But at the same time, like, because your child, you can't rein in your child's behavior, like that should not put the other kids at risk. So like even after getting a couple warnings, everyone was pretty much like this kid should be suspended or at least not all-star eligible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was that kind of made my eyebrow raise, and just the way they were so like they didn't handle it well. It was just like, no, he's a little kid, we're gonna like let him slide by that. And they didn't let him do all stars, but they did let him return back to the league the next time, and his behavior continued. So there was just that I thought was strange. And I felt so bad for the kid that got decked in the face. And it was his
That's so
first year
sad.
playing baseball.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
he
Oh,
was he
that's
trying to high
terrible.
five the kid maybe and just like,
No, it was just
so
like,
it was
It's like a boom.
Oh my
yeah, get
God.
out
Well,
of
let me
the
tell
Yeah.
way.
you,
It's
it
like ludicrous.
it
We
doesn't
need to
get
send
better
that
in
video,
travel
Renee.
ball.
Oh yeah, it was bad. And it was like, and then the other thing is that video somehow circulated everywhere, and I have no idea how that happens.
Never. Don't have a clue. But oh my gosh.
There was
That's
that, and then the last story I have to share about that. So we're in the middle of a championship game, and I know this one's going to burn me if anybody listens because it's very specific. But we were in the middle of our championship game for our division, and our team had not lost a game. So if you guys know how brackets work, like if we
Yeah.
were to have lost that game, we would get another game. But because we were undefeated, if we won that game, we were the champion. Right. So we enter that game, and it's literally the third batter is up, and this kid is like waiting to, take his at bat. And the mom from the other team storms onto the field during mid game. Okay. So the pitcher even is like, well, what is our team mom doing walking out on the
Like,
field?
what are you
So he
doing?
like steps off. She has a clipboard in hand. And she's, trying to call the coach from our team over. And then the umpire comes over, and I'm like, what is going on? And so I'm like turning down the music because I'm DJing, right? And like trying to be nosy and hear like what's going on. Well, she's insisting that the Little League advertise this as the championship game. So the winner of this game should therefore be the champion. And we're like, it's a bracket play. Like that's it, the brackets are posted. Like, what are you talking about? This argument proceeds for 20 minutes to where they will refuse to continue to play until the president of the Little League shows up to like
Oh my God.
to straighten it
Oh
out.
my
I
gosh.
can't even make
It's
this up.
a game.
I know the kids are, Mateo was 8 years old at the time. And so we were like 8 to 10 years old because it's that minor division. And we're like, the kids are like, what is going on? And like, they're bottle flipping in the dugout and like, getting a mess. And finally he's like, okay, this is it. Sorry. We've explained it. This is the championship game. So she storms off and we play. Well, we've lost 20 minutes of game. So we're getting our butts handed to us. We end up being down like by 7 runs. And then, of course, it's just like, come on, universe, are you serious? And by the grace of God, things turned. And then, we're running out of time. We end up 1 run ahead. And then the blue turns to our coach and says, we're at time. What do you want to do? And we're like, we'll take the win. Thank you very much. And they were so pissed on the other side. They're like, what do you mean? We only played for an hour and 20 minutes. And we're like, well, no. You guys wasted like a half hour arguing over craziness.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead and secure the championship. And it kind of sucked to win that way.
Oh,
but it's
totally.
And so looking at like a situation like that, I'm like, I can't deal with this emotionally anymore. We're out. We're going to go try travel ball and do that full time.
That's insane.
That's my story.
I can't imagine you've experienced a lot less, but we'll save that one. Gadir.
Yes.
Like, so what have you experienced as you entered into travel ball?
We actually just fell into it because we decided to leave Little League when a coach, imagine a dad, told my 8-year-old that he sucks at baseball. He will never play baseball, all this stuff. And I was just like, what? There's no way.
A grown
And I was
man?
like, a grown man told my 8-year-old that. So instead of my 8-year-old being like, I never want to play baseball again, it put a fire under his butt. And he said, and he literally said to me, he's like, can you put me in lessons? Can you get me hitting lessons? Can you do this? And like, I think he just turned 8 at the time. He has a late birthday. It's like May 22nd. And I was like, okay. So we left Little League. That was the end of it for him. And we just found, I didn't know anything about travel ball. Nothing. I didn't even know it existed. I knew there was club soccer because my neighbor had a kid in club soccer and I thought she was insane that she was driving to Norco every weekend. And I was like, who does that kind of stuff? Like literally that's where I was. And then we jumped into it. And we found a place locally. And then I was like, ooh, this is like a conveyor belt of like, I can't say the name, but we found another one and he tried out for it. And the coach was amazing because he was like, he's 8 years old. He has a whole journey ahead of him. Like we can get him there and stuff. And so we joined that organization and it was great. And that's how we ended up in travel ball. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's
the adults that ruin it for kids in general.
Yeah.
It is. I mean,
Sometimes
it totally
the coaches, but the adults are, everyone says, kids are ruining Little League or whatever it may be. And I'm like, no, it's adults that are ruining that kind of
and
stuff.
you know what? It's also the board members. The board member that I reached out to at the time, I had told him, hey, like, what is happening? This is Little League. Like, he's not even 8 yet. Like, what are you guys doing? He goes, well, we're very competitive here. And I have the email still.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Really
held on to it.
Yeah.
And he told me, he goes, if you want something less competitive, go somewhere else.
See, that's wild to me because I think
he was 7.
It's designed for everyone. So like even that kid that like is kind of late probably to our standard, that's like 10 years old, signing up for the first time, should have the ability to play equally, And a lot of travel ball kids do go back to Little League because they want to rake or they want to join All Stars, which they have the right to do because that's their community. So we do have that as well. But in fairness to Little League, I will say at a certain point, at least for us, I want him to learn how to play baseball the right way. And so I can't emphasize that enough is you're not going to get the right way in Little League. It doesn't matter how great the coaches are and how, like, let's say you have the best board members on the planet and everything's like super kosher. I still like, if you have hopes to play at the high school level, at like 10, 11, 12 years old, developmentally, like you need to have like a very sound foundation in
Yeah.
technique and baseball IQ. And I
Yeah.
just don't think Little League is it. It's what gets you to love the game at first and get a kickstart for it to like want that further investment. But like you're not
Mhm.
going to go and be like making your varsity team off of Little League. I know
Yeah.
that's probably a
No.
controversial statement when people hear
No,
that
but
because I know a lot of
But
people
it's
did, but it's a
but it's
different
it's
true.
kind of
reality. It's
It's
it's a
it's
reality.
the
different
I mean,
reality
experience.
of it. And
so
Yeah.
I
so like
mean,
for us, we're playing Dixie this year. So we wanted to go back and just kind of see how it is. We haven't been back since we were 7. And with Dixie, there's the difference between going from travel ball back to Little League is we can't steal, we can't pick off, anything like that. It's a
Yeah.
little different, but I also look at it as okay, he's going to get just playing time with friends and all that kind of stuff. We'll deal with the politics of it later because we all know, even in Little League, there's just those politics with baseball that happen. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Always the
that's
case.
I actually loved our Little League experience. So I'm like,
you're like the unicorn. You've got like the
Okay,
best
hold
coaches, the
on.
best team,
I should
everything. Like,
I do.
I should
you're so
clarify
lucky.
that it's not every Little League. We moved from
Yeah,
Yeah.
Little
I
League to
I
Pony, and
What is
it has
Pony?
been Pony is like
13, 14.
Oh, is
no,
it
no, no.
13? I
Oh,
It's
didn't
no,
know
no,
it.
no. My little one is in it too. Pony
Yeah.
it's like
oh,
I don't know. So you can play. It's not like Little League rules. Like you can
Okay.
steal, you can pick off, and you can use USSSA bats. It's not USA
Okay.
bat only. And they have like their own select team, whatever. But
Hmm.
but
my
as you
middle one
progress,
started
though,
there.
you as you progress, though, you move up to more mature horses, right? And I'm not. That's
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So it's
Maverick
like
and
Mustang and all that kind of
yes,
stuff. Yeah.
yes,
So
I know
my
what you're talking
other
about.
two,
You'll move
my
up to the
other
Colts.
two went there
Yeah, there
and
is
they are
Colt.
very happy.
We have 2
Colt?
little
Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah,
We're in a Houston suburb and we're very heavily populated. So we have 2 little leagues. And honestly, every
Yeah.
single little league, I don't know, I may just be very rare, but both of my kids, I absolutely love their coaches. I really appreciated them volunteering because they could have been on another team with a guy who just did it because they were
Oh,
forced
for
to.
sure.
So we got really lucky in that regards. The
Yeah.
only reason we left, honestly, which controversial, but I just felt like a lot of people were signing up their kids who didn't love baseball the way my
Mhm.
kids did. My kids were like really wanting to make plays, and when
Mm.
the coaches are screaming, hold the ball, when my kid's like, but I can make that play and I can get that kid out.
Mhm.
That was
Mhm.
our red flag that was like, it's time to go because these
Yeah.
kids are
Yeah.
putting mud in their gloves in the outfield, and my kids actually want to learn the game. So I think nothing against the parents because of course you want to encourage them to be active and play as many sports as you can. It was just I don't think they were in love with it the way my
Yeah.
kids were.
Yeah.
It
So
was
yeah.
it was just free time for them. And honestly,
yeah.
it was just it was
Yeah.
kind of
Babysitting.
like whenever, yeah, when my husband and I come from the era where like you didn't really pay for Little League back then. You just signed up. They didn't have
Yep.
groups and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, I mean, it was just sign up just for whatever, just kind of get some free time from the parents and everything. And it's come so far from what it used to be now.
Yeah. Well, I know
Yeah.
travel ball, and we're going to talk a lot about probably the opportunity side so much, but I definitely agree. There is definitely a time and place where travel ball has to enter in and chow, like you
Mm-hmm.
said. Like sometimes it's just your kids want more of a competitive environment. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I mean, in travel ball, like you're going to practice multiple times a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in little league and in rec ball, you're going to practice maybe once, maybe
Yeah.
twice. And if you have 2 games that week, you're probably not even practicing at all. And then you get maybe 2 to 3 at bats per game. So I mean, your sample size, like kids honestly, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this is, but like my frustration as a coach is just getting kids to practice when they're home. Like, I
Yeah.
see kids with the heart, the desire, the passion to do it. And then parents have just got to reserve a little bit of time for some instruction, but give a kid a tee. Like I have begged so
Yeah.
many parents, go get your kid a tee. And they're like, well, he gets bored. I'm like, I don't care. Like
Mhm.
this
See,
is
that was
Yeah.
my background. So I never got to do little league or anything like that. My mom and dad always signed up my brother, which he was an amazing baseball player. He played with a lot of pros that started in our area
Mhm.
and went on to the major leagues. But it was literally, I taught myself through watching my brother's baseball games and everything like that. I taught myself softball. They did not come out once to do it. In which I think that's why I'm probably so on top of my son. Like at home, hey, I don't care if you're out there doing the wiffle ball with your sister. You know, she's got a better swing than he ever did at 5 years old. Just do something. You're being
Mhm.
active, be proactive with it. You know, I just always have that mindset. I don't ever want to tell him, hey, you need to go outside and practice. No,
Mhm.
you need to take accountability and go do it, the initiative and everything like that. So I think a lot of it is there's some parents that may be controversial. I'm about to say it. There's some parents that do not want to even put the work in. They feel like, well, they're old enough, they can go do it themselves.
Mhm.
But it
Or
also
they
gives you an
expect the
opportunity.
organization to do it. They expect
Yes, or
the
they expect the
Yeah.
organization or
Yes,
the
coach's
coaches.
fault.
And,
Mhm.
when we played travel ball, we were practicing 2 times a week. And then we were also doing lessons once or twice a week as well. And then also at home skills and just doing that. But there was a lot of parents that they did not put 1 ounce of, there was a few on our team. Their kid did not pick up a tee, nothing. They just relied on practice. And it was frustrating watching my son kind of put that extra work in and these other kids get certain positions that they didn't even practice or even earn, honestly, if I'm being completely honest. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it may
Yep.
ruffle some feathers.
All right, let me ask a question. Whose baby plays
Sure.
shortstop?
I mean, I have one
Renee.
that plays.
But I played shortstop too.
But
In all fairness, he is a middle infield and he'll do second, short, or third.
Yes.
So like this weekend, he spent a lot of time at third, and I'm all there for it. I mean, I
Mhm.
think kids at this age should
Yeah,
be playing all over. I want to
Yeah.
I
say one of
agree.
the biggest complaints parents do have is when a kid is locked into a position too much.
Yep.
I think it's usually them complaining because their kid isn't getting opportunity in a particular
Yeah.
place, but
Yeah.
regardless, like I hear stories like MLB stories, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Austin Barnes. He was a literally killer shortstop at Riverside. Grew up in Riverside, local kid, was amazing. There's articles about him in the local newspaper. MLB
Yeah.
drafts him and they're like, "You're a catcher." So like my whole thing is like
Yeah.
they shouldn't be playing in one spot at all. They should be
For
trying
sure.
Multiple.
everything, and they may not want the like stress of the bump, but like give it a try, like that way you're familiar with it. And same thing with like I
Yeah.
think outfield gets kind of poo-pooed on as well in those
Oh my
younger
gosh,
ages
yes.
because there's this person again, dad coaches that mean well, let's put little Timmy out there who probably isn't as strong in right field, and then holy shit, in travel ball, right field, you better be like Mookie Betts, like the fastest guy that can like
Yeah.
drop
Yeah,
those
check
bangers,
the
right? Like
ball.
those
Yeah,
You
bombs.
that
better
was.
check that ball, Johnny.
Yep,
You
yep.
better not
Everything
drop
goes out
it.
there. So yeah. So again,
Do
I'm
not
just
pull
like
an Aaron Judge.
Well, my
literally
That was
first
the
kid is a
worst thing.
lefty, so he didn't play obviously short. So, but my middle one did play short and does,
Mhm.
but on this team that we had just recently left, he never played shortstop. And he was excellent like third and outfield and stuff. And I love seeing them everywhere
Mhm,
Yeah,
versus just locked into one spot.
mhm.
But
Yeah.
he was locked into third and outfield and he was
yeah.
excellent, for a 9-year-old,
See, that was
but
Carson. He's locked in. He loves third and outfield. He likes infield. I mean, he'll tell you, like, I like playing infield. It's not bad. I know the positions, but he's like, I shine in outfield, which makes me happy because I played both infield and outfield, and I was a savage in outfield. I absolutely loved that spot. I probably got the most cardio conditioning I ever had as a teen in those. I mean, it was just like, and someone has said to me, they're like, oh, you're just in right field. Like, you're just covering that spot. I'm like, no, you're not. You're backing up center. You're backing up first. You're being a cutoff for second.
Mhm.
Depending on if center's not doing that, you got to go to those positions too. I'm like, there's a lot. The
yeah.
one that I hated the most, I did catching for one game, and I took my mask off and I told the coach, "Take me out. I'm not meant for this.
Kids, catchers are
I
built
was like, she's
different.
going to
Do
kill
we
me."
got that on video? We
My
got that on
amazing
video?
catcher.
I think my
We need
mom
to see
has
that,
it.
Tracy.
Yes.
Yeah.
The coach looked at me. She's like, "Put your mask back on." I'm like, "This big hoss is going to kill me with her pitches." She was insane, like on the diamond. I was terrified. I was like,
Oh
"Do
my
not hit me
God.
with this person."
You are
It was
You
so
should
it was
funny.
reenact that. You should that would be good content.
That would
You
be
should
funny,
reenact
yeah.
That
that.
would be funny. That would be really funny. We need to
My
see
Yeah.
it.
What's funny is my
My
mom
older
still has
one
my old softball uniform. I probably could squeeze into it if I put some
My
things
older
on.
one catches, and I don't know how he does it. Just watching him make his knees hurt, but he loves it. And I'm
I
like,
give so
I don't
much
know
credit to
how you can do
catchers.
that.
Like it was, and
Yeah.
first of all, it is so hot carrying all that weight. My son did it for one practice and he liked it, but the next day he's like, my knees like hurt.
Kids knees.
So, yeah.
I think it's like
Yeah.
meant
Yeah.
for adrenaline junkies because I think that's
Yes.
For
like, that
sure.
appeals for
100%.
Mateo is he's just like I'm involved the whole time. Like
Yeah.
the ball's coming to me every
They're
single
like ping
pitch.
pong,
I
like they're
feel
thinking
for
of
him.
Yeah.
everything.
I really feel for him because anytime we pick up or scrimmage or do like middle school matchup or anything like that, and they're like, "What positions do you play?" As soon as you say catcher, you're locked. That's it.
Yeah.
I
No,
actually
it
have
is.
been begging my kids to play.
I
Yeah,
know. Nobody
there's
wants to
something
catch.
about people always wanting cut, and I get it, like it's a great position. It's like the eye of the storm,
Mhm.
but it's like the minute you say that, they're like, "Oh my gosh, okay, you are on this team for the next 5 seasons." It's like
Yeah.
such a hot spot. Maybe
Yeah.
it's because
Well, I mean, it's
there's not
hard.
people that can do it.
Yeah. I mean,
Pitchers and
even
catchers
Yeah.
are
even
like
filling out
gold.
like even like for running a tournament, for example, like we get
Yeah.
all the individual signups. Like the first two things that we have to identify are pitchers and catchers because every
Yeah.
team's got to have them. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, and it's such an important position, specifically in kid pitch as you get older, of course. But yeah, that's you got to find a good catcher. That's the
know.
gatekeeper.
Gotta
that
love the
stops a lot of
catcher.
Funny,
wins.
hold on. Funny story about Vinny, my lefty in Little League. He was dying to play catcher, and he played catcher the entire time until we left.
No way.
He was obsessed.
Oh,
I mean, it's a cool position. The
it
gear.
is.
Yes.
You're always
Oh
yeah.
no, we have the $300 gear that he bought. Okay, that
See,
my lefty bought.
the minute our son said he liked it, I'm sitting there Googling and I was like, holy cow, do I really want to drop all this money on catching gear? He may not like it. Thank goodness we didn't. I was like, okay, we're saved right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's
the
just when you
gear
post
is
Facebook
crazy.
message, hey, I just need some equipment for my son to borrow until I can break him out of not wanting to do this again. So,
Yeah.
That's
Um,
true.
How do I detour him
Yep.
to do this?
yeah. All right. So there was a
Exciting.
post that was made by Legacy Baseball about a month ago. And you ladies are very familiar with this one. And we have to talk about it. So Gadir kind of started it. It was the one talking about
Do you
parents leaving
remember-
swapping teams.
Oh,
Remember?
that guy.
Hoppers.
Now,
I
do
deleted
you
my
guys know who he
comment.
is? I've had him on the show. So hold on, before we get to that, he runs something
Okay.
called Speedball. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
Mm-mm.
You guys should totally check it out, and I'll tell you about it afterwards. But yes, so Gadir, you took that. I shared that post to begin with, and then
I remember.
you shared it, and I'm like,
Okay.
that's a different
Well,
take.
then she commented under my comment, and I was like,
So
man.
what's the topic? I must have been Judy at that moment.
You were Judy
You were
that day.
I was on one with my, my rage stories that I do sometimes. I think I was just using my own experience in general that it's okay to leave a team that is not a good fit for you.
Yeah.
And him saying like you can't label a family a team hopper because that coach, that team, everything just didn't work for them. And so like a lot of the times people will say, oh, they're just a team hopper family. And like I hear that all the time about certain people that play in this community. And it triggered me because
Yeah.
also we were 1 foot out the door with our last team due to I don't want to get fully into it, but the coaching style was not a good fit.
Is it a bad thing to
So
move
he was
teams?
saying, hey, I get his, my little AirPod just fell out. I get his point of like,
Yeah.
people just chasing, rings. I get that. And I
Yeah.
see that all the
ring chaser
time.
team.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We didn't win like massive tournaments, but like we would win like silver bracket or whatever. Okay. And the amount of people in my DMs wanting to come play for our team, I'm like, just because we won,
Yeah.
like, it's weird. I get that portion, but I was talking about like labeling families that leave teams that don't work for them, and that's okay.
Yeah. Well,
I
because
hate
Absolutely.
the cons,
parents. Yeah. There are
it
parents that
just,
stay too loyal, I think, too. And
oh
I think
yeah.
that's what
Oh,
you were
where it's
trying
like
you were
creepy,
trying to
like
get
it's a
at that.
cult. Yeah. Your travel ball team isn't
I
your cult. You can walk away.
Yes.
No, you
Yeah.
can walk away.
And I think that's where,
I
yeah.
totally understand that, but I just wanted to put my point in just because Bradley is going into his 5th season and Mason's going into his 7th season with the same team, which I feel like is like
You
unheard
are
of.
It's
like,
very
It's
rare.
absolutely
It's very
you are
unheard
rare.
of.
You are
Very,
a rare
very rare.
gym that gets so lucky with that.
Me too.
I,
And
I've
that's,
been on 6
I feel
teams.
very, very okay. No, I can't do that. I
6.
I think there's just a negative connotation on team hopping. You have to find the best fit for your child.
Yeah.
for sure.
I am not going to look until I am unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I do see, our roster has changed so many times.
Yeah.
And I do see people who do it for reasons that I wouldn't leave, but I am not one to judge one family's reason for leaving a team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because I think I was honest with you guys. I know we left. We had no choice but to leave. Our son got cut, and it was not even over skill. It was very political. I mean, with our last coach, I will call him Timmy. I just don't do with you cussing at me and playing favorites and then calling me X, Y, and Z. I am very protective of my children and my family. And I thought I trusted you and I stayed loyal. And that's the thing that I think Gadir and all of us were kind of looking at that. There's no problem with staying loyal to a team, but not like loyal where it becomes toxic and if you leave then you're viewed as some random
Yeah.
person that's team hopping. But I do know there's people in our town, they will hop a team if they start losing 2 to 3 tournaments, and I'm like, so you're just going to hop from team to team? And there's one, she has hopped back and forth between 8 different teams. If they start losing, she's going to the next team. They start losing, she's going to another team. They start losing, she's going to another.
That right there.
Yeah.
That right
And
there is
that's
what
what
his
where
point
I mean,
was.
an issue.
Yeah.
what
I
does that
think
teach
it-
your son?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's what he
That's
said.
weird.
Is
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
what
And I get
what-
it. I got his point. But my
Yeah.
perspective was completely different because he was
Right.
labeling everyone who, and we were already like literally 1 foot out the door from our
Yeah.
organization. And I was
Yeah.
using my own experience from it because if I want to leave, I'm leaving. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
And like the thing is like, we can, my kid, especially my oldest, he's tough. Like he can handle
Yeah.
a lot. But
Mhm.
I also have to still be a parent and say this is not a good fit for you.
Yeah.
For the long
You have
run.
to make that decision. And
You are the
And it's
mom
very
here.
like
You have
culty.
to put your foot down.
Our team, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
They're going to see this, I'm sure. But it was very cult like, and they don't care. Their kid is getting like, just, and they just stuck it
Pounded.
out all these years. And I'm just like,
Weird.
I don't understand. Like, where is your backbone?
Yeah, I've gone
Well,
into it with
in the
like some
closet,
folks on
probably.
like an IG
Yeah.
post. There was one that I had did just this last summer. You guys might remember it. Like it's my best post actually, and it's just me and Mateo changing our outfits. That like
Yeah.
Oh,
trend.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
And
I
it was
love
literally
that
from
one.
a season. Yeah, but it was just
Yeah.
for a season, and like all these people were like, oh, this isn't the flex you think it is. And like, why do you guys
Yeah.
have so many teams? And it's like, well, little league seasons end. So he did two
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
seasons. It was like Banana Ball. It was like the S.L.I.D.E podcast thing. Like
Yeah.
it was a series of just different things. And then it got me to thinking like, yeah, you should be okay with leaving a team. And all the reasons why we've left teams, when I say Mateo has 6, I actually think it's been more like 7. But
Yeah.
the reason why is, teams dissolve. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, here in South Bay and LA, there are so many travel ball teams. If you have 3 kids up and leave and you don't have a massive multi-level organization, the team is done. You
Yeah.
can't stay on a team with like 5 to 6 kids and just kind of, you could and hope to wait out that you have tryouts and get more kids, but we have been faced with that like at least 3 or 4 times. And you're just like, are
Yeah.
you serious? Or we've been on travel ball teams where it's like, it feels really good. This is great. And then kids go back to Little League. And then in
Yeah.
that spring season, we didn't sign up for Little League. So then now we're not getting any gameplay because like half the team is not able to RSVP for tournaments. And then it's like, well, why did you sign up for travel ball? So we've
Mhm.
had that happen multiple times where we've had to like look for a new home because we want to actually be a part of a team that wants to like have that sense of community and like not be cultish, but definitely like, yeah, like let's have pizza parties together and like let's bond and like have this experience be fun and
Be
not just
normal.
what happens on the
Yeah.
field,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So we found that now finally. So that is the huge win. We were actually
For
with
this
this
season.
organization before.
For this season.
So yeah. For this
For
Very
this
fun for
season,
this
Renee.
as long as we
Stay
get through that
tuned.
batch,
Stay
guys,
tuned.
that's all that matters.
It makes
Oh
me
my
think
God.
of Mason's
No,
first
I-
ever select team went like 0-15, I think. And I just remember he never complained. And I was like,
No.
super proud of him because I'm like,
Yeah.
we are going to stick this through to the end of the season, which I
And
know
that's
can be
hard.
controversial.
That is hard.
Because a lot of people
Yeah.
are like, just leave if you're unhappy. Like, no,
Yeah.
you're going to finish out the season. The families were great. I'm not complaining about the coaches. They were amazing. So if all that aligns, we are not leaving unless it's like
Yeah.
a toxic environment and we
Yeah.
Yeah.
can't anymore.
I
But
So
I'm
let me
like,
ask you
remember-
this, because you
yeah.
bring this up. I love this point, and I'm curious as to what has happened. So parents that complain if you're not winning, is that a thing?
It
That's
Like,
is.
is that literally, truly, like, do you guys have parents that are like, I want to be on a winning team, and like, we're gonna
Yes.
leave. We want to talk to the owner
Oh, yeah.
if like we're not winning.
And
So
that's
the
just
thing
Yeah.
I hear that
Oh,
the thing
Oh,
I hear
yeah.
the most
not even.
the umpire.
It's even the younger
umpire
ones.
didn't like us today.
crazy.
It's oh my gosh, it's the field conditions. What's the one thing? This is I guess from a player stance, I used to hear this all the time, and I always look back at like travel ball parents are not as bad as it used to be. I mean, there was some crazy ones back then. The one thing I hear the most, what's wrong with
Have you-
him?
you
Why is he
used to-
playing that way? What is wrong with him today? And I'm like, what is wrong
Yeah.
with you? Like they're kids at the same time. But I
Got
love when
it.
they blame the umpires because I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
then you go out there and coach. Like I love
Yeah.
our umpires that we get sometimes, but
Well,
was
listen,
Yeah.
umpires, they get very little money and
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
take an enormous amount of abuse. I mean, but here's the
Big
reality.
time.
Look, leaving an organization because you're not winning, like, remember what this whole thing's about. And this is my little rant, Renee.
yeah.
But remember, like, we started this thing for the kids, right?
True.
Mhm.
If we make the decision and hopefully we're educated enough to make the right decision, put our kids in the best possible scenario so they can continue to develop. That's it, right? It's about the kids.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we have to be role models for those
Yeah.
same kids. Every
But deep
time we get up, go ahead.
Deep down,
Every time
some
we
parents
get
aren't
up,
like that.
No, they're
no.
not.
Every time we
Mm-mm.
get up, we're on stage for our kids.
Mhm.
If we yell at somebody on the phone, we're on stage. And that's what I
Yeah.
feel like so many people lose sight of in youth sports, baseball specifically,
Yeah.
because like they think winning means their kids are getting better. And that's like kids
Yeah.
need to learn how to lose so they can learn how to appreciate winning. And
Yeah.
look, there's nothing wrong with
100%.
going like 0-16 in a season. As long as your coach is involved, he's keeping the morale of the team up. Like there's
They're
lessons to be learned there.
learning. I
They're
mean, for
learning.
Yeah.
kids at 12,
I
11,
mean,
10, 11, 12, they're learning how to play the game. So how do
yeah.
you expect them to go out there and just know what to do? You know, most
Yeah.
teams, I would imagine all of our teams are similar. We're practicing 2 to 3 times a week. And I
Yeah.
know all our kids are putting in extra work and extra lessons, but they're still like, and this is just a segment of their life. Let's not even get into the fact they still have academic
Right.
They got
responsibilities,
school,
chores.
homework,
They have
everything.
Yeah.
social, they have
Fortnite.
friends that don't play baseball that they have
Yeah.
commitments to. Like,
Fortnite.
you know,
Got to play Fortnite.
Fortnite, yes.
some kids like that, but yeah. And so like, it's funny because I just had a conversation with a mom, I kid you not, this weekend. And, you know, because we're getting ready for Cooperstown, right? How many teams are at Cooperstown when you're there on a week? Like 68, 70?
I have
Yeah.
no clue.
Yeah. Oh, it's
A
like
lot.
70 teams. So we're
Oh
raising
my
all this money to do
gosh.
this. And this mom tells
Mhm.
me, like, you know, because honestly, we got smashed this weekend, our first like major smashing. And I was telling you this, Gadir, remember, like,
I know, because our friends played them.
I was like, oh my God, girl. But like, hey, I was like, okay, it's okay. Cause like Mateo had 3 great plays and that's what I came
Yeah.
for. Like, I don't care. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can keep their $5
You came to watch
bucks.
your kid.
Don't care. So this mom is like really upset. And she's like, we got to work on this. We got to fix this. I want to call the coach and like, I want to talk to the program owner and we got to like get around this because I'm not paying all this money to go to Cooperstown and have this happen. And I was like,
After one
honestly,
game.
granted, I was one Michelada in, so maybe I was a little too loose. But I told her like, hey, you know, there's like 70 teams there, and if you're like expecting that we're gonna go there and like rake and like be, you know, in like the top 5 even.
That's so funny.
Our first year as a team, mind you, like this is a new team that was just assembled
Yeah.
like in
Yeah.
September. Like we're like, girl, and I just like looked at her, and she was like, "What?
You're
You
trying
don't
to get all
wanna
the
win?"
kinks out of everything. I mean, it's
Right. She's
natural.
like, she literally looked at me and she was like, what? You don't want to win? Like, I want to be on a winning team. And I was like, sorry.
I also
can't
think
with my mouth, but I'm just like, are you
Yeah.
serious?
Well, I also think the Cooperstown thing is because people are spending so much money to go there. They're just
Yeah.
like, we don't want to go get
You
killed
don't want to go
for,
home.
you know, you don't want to.
you're
I know,
still-
but the mentality of these parents is
Yeah.
like, I want to
Yeah.
go with a winning team so I can have whatever, you know.
Well, they're wrong.
But
And their kid
I
needs
know,
to be, you know, higher
it's
clip.
the whole experience too. It's just
Yeah,
like
it's a
having
rite of
fun with your
passage.
team. It's a rite of
You know,
passage, and I
I
think
don't
people
know.
don't see that.
Yeah. And I don't know, Renee or Kadir, you guys know, like you're promised like 8 games. That's a
Right.
lot in a week.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah.
lot
Oh
of
my
games.
gosh.
it
So
is a
whether
lot of
or not
games.
you're on a winning team, you're playing 8 games. Like,
Yeah.
worry about having enough pitchers. That's it.
Yeah,
Like,
right. I'm like, everyone's going to have to pitch. Like, how do you?
Everyone needs to pitch.
you
Yeah,
cannot get
at
through
this
that
rate.
without your
Right.
whole
And
team.
you got to bring your own umpire. So
Oh
Yes.
yes,
Isn't that
that's so.
wild?
it's
Wait,
weird.
wait,
That's so
do you?
crazy.
So
Hashtag Cooperstown.
Hey, I'll be the umpire. Let me just go with y'all. I'll be the
I'm like, I
umpire.
have 0 connections in like Cooperstown, New York. I hear people are flying their own umpires out there.
Well, you
Really?
can call Scott from Balls and Strikes. He can get you somebody out there, probably.
That's okay.
No,
Yeah.
but you can get one from them.
Oh,
No,
can you?
I'd want a better, like I want to, if I'm going to do all that, I would want the dancing umpire from the
Yeah.
Savannah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Oh my God, we need to get him.
It's an official call out for him. We want you July 18th.
I want Mark
Oh.
Oh,
Paul.
yeah?
I would want Mark
me-
Paul because I think
Oh,
he would
Mark,
be.
we should have brought Mark on this
Okay,
Oh,
Mark
his
is
son-
episode with us.
amazing.
He's so
His son
funny.
had a dentist
He had to be
appointment.
his travel ball
Oh.
mom person. Otherwise, he's not invited. He can't sit with us.
Yeah, so I did say something to him with he's got new shirts, and I was like, hey, you need to send it to like the Baseball Mom group, you know. And so he's got some new stuff in it, but I am dying at like the new name of his team, the Daddy Ballers. I'm like, that is just perfect.
He's so funny.
He's coming to Houston soon, I think, to for like a tournament. So
Yeah, we
With
need
Daddy
to get
Ballers?
him. We need to get him on a call where it's like a roast. You know how they do like the Comedy Central roast?
Oh my
Yeah.
We
Have him
should.
that
start-
would be
We could do
dying.
that. We should do that.
We should
We
totally
should
do that.
I'm just giving you the ideas, Aaron. There you go. You can have different
So-
guests and
So
different
we would roast
panel.
It'll
Mark.
be.
I got this.
Roast Mark Paul. I just want to wear like the little towel on my head and everything like that.
Totally.
Oh my
That's so
God.
funny.
You want to
He's so
show
funny.
him what he's shown you. I got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's so spot on. It's kind of
He
scary.
is
he?
He's very spot. It's very spot on, especially with his outfield one. Well, I think it was his first one, and it was like
Jalen.
all these moms on a bleacher. He's like, all these moms, they think their baby is number one, and I'm like, my baby is number one out there. I don't care about y'all's babies.
Baby's
My
number
baby
one.
boy is number one.
Yep.
He's number one.
He's spot on. He is
He
spot
made that
on.
10, but he is number one.
Mhm.
That's it. All right.
Oh, it's
so
so funny.
what's the most outrageous thing that you have ever experienced with a team? Good
Where do
or
you
bad, I guess we can go. Good or bad. Obviously,
okay, so like
our
with
listeners.
a team or like with
Yeah.
opposing team?
We can go either way.
Okay,
I think that's an interesting take.
Had a baseball mom call me the "see you next Tuesday" word in front of my kid. They were delaying the game. You're just think on it later. We'll text you it.
I think I got it.
And the fact that she said it in front of my kid, I was even more livid and even more mad that they delayed the game because they were cheating on Game Changer. And I remember,
Game changer.
oh yes, she was just like, we were looking and we're like,
I cannot.
it's not even a big deal. It's a like it was a Saturday game. I'm like, who cares? But when she called me that because they were mad about something, and I'm walking up the stairs, and I remember telling the girls, I went red. I think I went as far as to pull the tournament director by his shirt to the umpire and said, if you don't get
God.
her out of here, I will drop.
Oh my God! Vincent! Hi!
Oh my God. What a nice
Aaron.
surprise.
He's like, ladies.
We're talking about all the drama out on the baseball fields and how fun travel ball is. And
It's caused by all the mamas.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
It is.
you're
Not
full
these
of
mamas.
it.
Not these mamas. These mamas have it under control.
Not us.
Not these.
Nah.
Not these hoes.
But we were talking about Cooperstown, and you got to bring your own umpire. And they wanted to rent your services for the week and skip the world tour with the bananas, and just they want to pay you for the week, man. They like your moves.
We need you.
So what week is that, Aaron?
Oh, you can't.
It's week 18.
Well, Renee's July 18th.
It's
We're
week 9.
July 24.
When do y'all go,
Hey, I called it. I got dibs.
I got
Y'all
second.
are all different weeks.
Yes, unless Renee takes us with her.
You can just put me in your toiletry bag. I'm short enough. I can fit in there. I'll just travel with you. We'll go.
I'm good, brother. I'm just working. Well,
yeah,
you see it working. Yeah,
I
just,
see it.
trying
Where are you headed
to sell some
to?
IT. I work for an IT company in Texas. So,
oh, nice.
Oh, where?
Oh, you live in Texas.
Yep, Northeast Texas, Texarkana.
Oh, I'm not too far from you.
Thank you very much, dude. I thought it would be awesome for you to hop in, just say hi. So
Hello.
I think we accomplished everything. It's good seeing y'all too. Hope you have a great day.
Take care.
Hey, can I say something before I leave?
Please.
Of course.
Just a little word of advice, okay? Your moms, and I don't know how many kids you have. You maybe have one, you may have two, you may have 3 or 4. But just remember that the game is a game, and in baseball, they're going to learn more life lessons than any other sport. That goes from the ball is close, and the umpire calls it a strike, and it should have been a ball. Just like in life lessons, we're going to have things that happen to us in life that aren't fair. We have no control over it. So just instill in these kids that it's okay if someone does you wrong, because that's not who defines you as a person. Okay, when they start searching for jobs, they're not going to find their dream job right at first, and they may be turned down for that job. It's just remember that let these kids be kids, and when things don't go their way, just talk to them about never giving up and fighting for everything that they want in life. Because I promise you, life is a fight. Nothing's given to us; we have to earn it, and sometimes it's not fair. But just continue. What happened?
that was just a message moment. That was a message moment. That was
he's
great.
going to church.
He threw you a curveball.
We were just talking about that too.
And Aaron's like,
I'm so sorry. Well,
Aaron, you ruined the moment.
I did.
I thought he went to church. I thought he went to church. I thought
No.
He had me in my little feelings for a second, Aaron, and you ruined it.
I had to break this up.
Oh my God, Aaron.
I need these moms, Vincent. Like, I need to get the fire going in them again, Vincent. You're trying to make them cry right now.
Well, it's really close to Sunday. I apologize for bringing that up.
No, preach on, brother. Let's go.
No, preach on.
I love
it.
Stuff, dude. That's good
I
stuff.
love it. Great.
I think we're on the same page. We were just talking about the other crazy parents.
Yes.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, most of those are married to coaches.
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir. Ooh, shots fired.
Most of the time.
Shots fired.
I think those are the worst ones because that's the ones that everyone tries to be close to. If I get close to the coach's wife, now my son gets to play more.
My baby gets playing time. That's right. I've done it for 20 years.
They have to go home at the end of the night with their wife. They're like, I got to do what she says.
Yep.
I got to do what she does.
One question for you, Renee. What's in that Yeti?
I'm not at the ball field and my son isn't pitching. It's just coffee.
What time is it there?
If he's out there on the bump, there's probably going to be some bourbon or whiskey in here with some like Coke Zero. If I'm being honest.
Maker's Mark, right? Maker's Mark.
Yes.
Ooh.
Gentleman's Jack.
And Sprite Zero. Maker's Mark and Sprite Zero.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It just seems to make every pitch that your baby throws strikes. It makes the umpire more blind.
It makes
100%.
I'm like, that's the one thing is I'm the mom when I have my mommy juice. I'm like there for a good time. He's just having fun. The umpire's just trying to help them out. Like I'm all lovable. Like it's a way opposite.
Oh my God.
That's great.
Depends on the personality.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now it's like cute because I'm like so lovable.
Renee's over there smiling. She just took a drink. It's okay, man.
Oh my God. She's good.
I'm good. As I'm playing the music and DJing the walk-up songs.
Oh my God.
But wait, aren't we doing Banana Ball this year? Banana Ball tournament? Aaron. No, none of
this time we're coming.
I'm coming for you, dude. Mateo honestly says of all his baseball career at a ripe 12 years old, that was the best experience he's ever had.
You know, you should just have us come out with y'all.
And we didn't win a single game, mind you.
What's that? What would you say, Renee?
We didn't win a single game, mind you.
Yeah, I heard that from a lot of people. I mean, and that sounds bad. I heard it from I think Lathan. I think Lathan was on a team, Lathan the kid umpire, and I don't think they won too many. But Lathan came up to me and was like,
"No, they didn't.
I think we lost every game, and we had so much fun.
I'm gonna have fun.
All right, I think we should do this once a week. This is fun. Is this the only moms in the group, or is there more moms?
This is
more moms in our group.
We have a couple of more,
we do.
This is actually a podcast episode, dude. So this is going to be an episode that
we said the entire time, like we think this is going to be the most hilarious podcast, and I don't know if like Aaron's ready for all of it, like because we're a lot in general in our group chat.
Yeah.
So it's
our voice notes alone are out of control.
They cannot be.
Yeah, see, I need to be added to that chat. That's the one.
Definitely not.
No. You can't. Yeah. It's like too much to catch up. We have one in there, Katie, and she's always like catching up. She's like, okay, what did I miss? And then you got Renee coming in late too.
I'm always
Renee's always late.
She
has no idea what's happening.
No, and I'm like, wait. I'm like, so's Brian.
She's making a drink.
Like 3 days ago.
And
she's making a drink.
My husband's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm doing work. I'm sending emails. I'm really just like catching up on our chats.
Well, let me ask you ladies a question, and we'll wrap this episode up with this question because Lord, we could really make this a weekly thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What has been the best moment for you and your kids in baseball? Like, what's that memorable moment so far for you?
I think for us, when, I mean, I know every player is going to go through some sort of it. When our son got cut, and, at 10 years old, that is hard because they go through so many emotions of, am I good enough? Why didn't he give me a chance? Or why did he tell me? The coach had told him so many things, and he's like, why did he do this? And I think the biggest thing for me is like, he's going to have two options. He's going to go bitter and give up the game, or he's going to hustle. And I let him have like 24 hours. I said, take 24 hours, feel what you're feeling and everything. But I want you the next day to get back at it. And the next day, he got with one of our first hitting coaches here. He's in the Longview, Texas area. His name is Philip. And then he got back with a hitting coach who got drafted for the Yankees, Austin Green. And it was just nice to see him not give up, even though he had been told, you're not good enough. You're not going to amount to anything. All the things that you probably shouldn't say, like Gadir and I had said before, you shouldn't say to a kid, especially at that young age. He took that and said, I'm going to prove you wrong. And he proved that wrong and went into a next season with, a team and everything. And just to see the weight of the stress off of his shoulders, that's one thing I've always wanted him to understand as a player, that this is not your job. You're not getting paid to play baseball. You should love the game. And no matter, you're not getting scouted. And I think that's where we kind of saw the coach. He wasn't coaching the team anymore. He was managing them. And that's when it kind of crosses the boundaries a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, a kid should never hear anything. Like, they're going to hear so much as an adult of why they're not successful, how they can't be successful. Like, kids should walk into adult life feeling very confident about their abilities and their self. So I know I'm preaching to the choir.
It's interesting that you say that, because I want to say, when you're asking me like what is the positive or like something memorable or whatever with baseball for us has really just been like the roadmap to like all these really cool experiences. And I mean, like, not to get all cheesy, but like, honestly, if I didn't have it, I wouldn't have met all of you. Because of Mateo playing and us having so much fun making content.
Look at Vincent,
connect. I would not meet you guys, and you guys are my rocks because you understand what I go through. My two best girlfriends, love them to death, but like their kids do other things and they're younger. Like they're not in this world. So they don't understand it. And until I've met you guys, I didn't have that. So like for me personally, being able to meet all of you.
I did not make up today.
And, even Aaron too, like we'll be like messaging each other about random things about baseball, because it's like we get that, right? But as far as Mateo goes, like I have zero expectations for like baseball future. Like if it happens, awesome. But I just think, I don't know, the kid's been blessed. Like he met Aaron, he's met Vincent numerous times. We've got a bunch of pictures and video, and he's met all the Savannah Bananas through like being a field reporter and just these different things that we have had the opportunity to do just because we're like, we asked, or we were in the right time. And that had nothing to do with his talent or skill level or anything with baseball, but because of the love of the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, literally for me, like those memories where like he'll turn and look and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I just interviewed Coach Rack. Like, that's crazy. And I'm like,
that's insane.
Or like literally when he met you, Vincent, he's like, dude, I twerked next to umpire Vincent.
Can I tell you?
That's my favorite.
He's like telling kids. He's telling kids on his baseball team these things. And they're like, no, you did it. And he's like, receipts.
I know.
The video, right?
I remember watching Vincent's video when he went viral for like the dancing. I think it was like when it first came out. And I literally watched it for like a good hour. I was hyperventilating from laughing so hard. And my husband's like, what are you watching? And I'm like, this is me when I've had like 10 shots and I'm not mommy anymore. And I'm just like, I'm pulling out. But this is also why my knees are so bad right now. So I think that they can pop, lock, and drop it, and we can't do that anymore.
They just pop. They just pop.
Guys,
I got a phone. Hey, I just want to let you know I spent half of my lunch break with you today. You're special. Never change. Keep being great role models for your kids and other parents. Okay, just keep leading the example. Don't fall down to their level. Positive energy in, positive energy out. Always remember, you're gonna have bad days. You can change your circle, and eventually, you change enough circles, you can change the world. Just one day at a time, one smile at a time. Aaron, thanks for getting me in this, whatever this is, podcast.
All right, Vincent.
Y'all have a great day, guys.
Happy
Bye,
trails.
Vince.
I'll talk to you soon, dude.
All right, man. You're gonna exit me out, right?
You can just end the call.
You gotta dance out though.
Oh yeah, you gotta dance out.
Just
I don't know if I have any music.
Just
See,
close
there's
the
some
app.
Oh, let's go.
Just close it out.
Yep, close it out.
Bye.
Bye.
I think we were
He's so funny.
I think we were
How
too
He
about
was
that?
like,
That's the first
what
time
did I just get into?
He's like, what am I?
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't
walking
tell
to the
him.
lion's
More
den,
often
poor
with
guy.
us.
He had no idea.
I know it. I know it.
That is so
yeah,
good.
I wanted to surprise you ladies. Chow.
thank
He's
you.
so funny.
You're welcome. Chow, I'd like to hear yours. Your most memorable moment so far.
Honestly, oh my God, I'm gonna be so cheesy too, but
Oh my goodness, we need
I
tissues.
don't have a specific moment, I would say, but I think the whole baseball journey with my kids, car rides, like little moments that they've had successes that they didn't believe they could ever feel. That and just I don't know if like your boys are very talkative, mine are not. So for them to have a passion that they can communicate with each other. My husband grew up playing football. We watch the NBA. We are not big baseball people, but for them we are. So I think just I don't know, being a family that has something that we all love together because of what, my boys love. I really think that as a memory is really the best part of it.
Aww.
That's awesome.
It's so sweet.
Very cool. All right, Miss Kadir.
Oh, did I not say it before? Oh,
No.
I don't think so. Unless I
don't
missed
even
it.
remember. I don't even remember.
Everybody else's.
I don't think you did.
No.
I
I
don't
don't
even
think
remember.
so.
Okay, well, honestly, my favorite portion about I'm just gonna use my oldest as an example is facing adversity all the time in this world of baseball, whatever it is, and it's something that we didn't push him to do. He wants it, and so it's always like watching him week after week and lessons and pitching and all this stuff. And my favorite part is watching him go up against a ranked national team that has guys that are like, I mean, my kid is not, 6 feet at 12 years old and not 250 pounds. Strike out one of their most amazing hitters. And it was just like a big telling moment for him that I could do it. I can do it. And he did. And it's just him against him. He's always proving himself for himself and his journey. And I love watching it.
No.
I think that's something that all kids need to learn. It's just them versus themselves. Like
it is. Yeah.
They're not playing for the coach. I mean, they're being coached by the coach, but I think that's something that I agree with everyone that you want your players to know that the game does not define them at the end of the day. That last out that they struck out, I remember we had a World Series and my kid was that one that struck out. And, I remember him getting in the car. He never cried after games, never got mad, never. He shed tears because he said, my team and the coaches relied on me. It was my fault. And I'm like, no. You win as a team, you lose as a team. And moments like that are going to come and go. And I think that's what you just want for them to going forward as a player. Is to...
Oh my God.
Can you hear me?
I can't believe it.
Hilarious. Are you at the dentist still?
I know.
No, I've had a day. I don't
Hey,
even want to.
so Mark,
Can you hear me okay?
I'm
Yeah,
shocked.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
I'm getting this one.
I feel like we should have met a
I
long
need
time
to
ago.
I need to screenshot something.
Seriously, we
Oh
have to do like a pick, like a group pick.
We
no.
do.
No.
We have to do a pick.
No.
Where did
No,
Tracy
you
go?
can.
Hi, Mark.
How are you all?
I'm good, dude.
I didn't know I was walking. I didn't know I was getting in on all this.
Oh, you welcome to the
Someone-
Lion, the Thunderdome, the Lion's Den.
Yep.
Oh
This
man,
is the
no.
baseball mom group I said we needed shirts for.
This
We
is who
need
you've
shirts
been
for
making
our
fun of.
group.
That's cool.
my
That's
God.
good. Well, it's nice seeing you guys.
That's
Oh my
funny.
God.
I've had a really really long day. I'm not even gonna try this.
Yeah.
My son was in a dentist. That was fine, but like it's just been a lot going on with just I mean who tells you that
Ugh.
when you start some videos and then you get fired and you start doing your business stuff, and you know what I mean. You talked about this. It's been one of them that with the Soleros and oh gosh, like if y'all could just see what goes on behind the scenes from what started as just some fun videos. I mean, it's been 4 years, so I'm a lot more
Yeah.
peppier than this.
And you were
But
working like a 9
yeah,
to
it's just been.
5. I think
I
you
seen
talked
your
about it.
yeah. I was
Mhm.
working. I worked at a utility company as
You
an
were in like a
electrical
little
designer. I
cubicle
was in a
type job.
cubicle and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, for 17
See, I've been an
years,
OG. I've been an
and then
OG for years.
those those shirts did good, were doing all right, and then it was hard to focus on anything else. You were just on that all the time. And then it was like, well, if you just do the videos and wear the shirts, you could kind of sell it without really trying to sell it. So it was working. It was fun. And then it got into sunglasses and then just other things. And then I'm traveling and I'm always on the phone. And everybody wants you to promote their tournaments. And then you don't have time to do videos anymore.
Mhm.
It's just it's like having two companies. You're the president of both of them, and then by the way, you're also the marketing guy, and then you're a coach,
Yeah.
and your parent. I mean, it's a lot.
It's
And
first world problems. It's first world problems here.
It is
Jeez,
first
yeah.
world.
your social battery must be so drained.
oh, my head is. I'm just
But it is
but
true. Like,
I mean,
yeah, it is true.
Oh yeah, no. Well, the thing about it is that it was, and then it was true for me, and then it's so geared towards like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 with parents. I think because when they get a little older, you kind of get out of the stuff and everybody's kind of doing all this the stuff, and Jalen's he's almost in high school now, and so now you've got like other issues that you can't really bring up right now. Because you
Yeah.
don't want to let nobody know like, oh, I'm ready to talk about us now. Like I'll wait a couple of years and then I'll tell you about it. But
Let me tell you about
but
freshman
yeah,
ball.
I'll tell you right
That's
now.
funny.
Fundraisers in, everybody's checkbooks come out. Who's got the biggest one wins? So
Hey, look, archive it
Yep.
all. Make the videos now and then release them.
Oh,
I'm
I
sorry.
have some. I have a lot
archive
of
'em.
them that I haven't sent out, and I've been going down the list, and I'm like, man, I could probably post that now. It's been like 3 years, and so.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've
Oh
used
my
people's names and
gosh.
I mean, the level of darkness that I got to with this stuff that I wasn't able to send out. It's like I can't post that. Like it's so bad.
Yeah.
So you start
Yeah.
one day they will. You'll have the hidden tapes come out.
My drafts.
Put that on the
I have like
OnlyFans.
30
Okay.
drafts that I can't release.
You
It's
can't
like
Oh,
you
release
get
really?
any of
caught,
them.
right? And then the content idea comes to you, and then so you shoot it, and then when you're like, sound mind kicks in of like, oh man, I might offend somebody with that. I probably should hold on to it for a
And
little
it's
while.
not
Yeah,
even-
that's what
in the
I don't even care about offending other people. It's about my kids at the end of the day. I don't want to
Yeah.
affect them in any
Well, you
way
just
negative.
gotta tweak the
And that's
story
the
a little
only-
bit. Add a couple stories
Yeah.
together
But
and
see,
throw them all off.
you're good at doing that. I feel like me, I'm like, I have a petty moment and I'm like, oh, you just snubbed me and you just like hit
like
me
the
in the
people
shoulder.
in my
I'm going to
hometown.
put you on blast and then ask for the Lord's Prayer later. I'm just, yeah.
Oh, you can
It's,
tell when you
yeah.
aggravate people because they disappear. You don't see them anymore.
Oh,
Like it's
yeah.
gotten real small out
Yeah.
here with me, and I didn't do. The thing about it was that I wasn't. I wasn't any different. I was doing all the same stuff in the videos as everybody else. Like I was the same dude. I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna be like I didn't do. I just sat back.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I was pretty chill with my kid. He was really easy to deal with. But with like everybody else,
Yeah.
I would just sit back and I'm like, why are you? I always tell everybody, I said, I'm gonna wait till 12 before I start caring. But like you still go home and you still are like, oh my god, what she did? She never drops him off in the park, and it's and then it's like, why does he care so much? But the
Truth.
people do, man, they do. But
I
Yeah.
think
what were
my
you all
favorite one you
Here's
do
It's
to
an
was the
well.
group
extension of
me's.
them.
And well, I think
Grace,
those
before
group
Vincent was
me's?
talking
Oh,
about
people get mad about those group me's because they're like, some of the parents like just want it to be about baseball, and the other ones want to have fun. And then it's like, well, I can't remember what kind of socks we needed because such and such was talking about the party
no,
last
you have a
night.
separate text chat. Everybody knows
Oh,
that.
I know,
You
we
but
do.
like it
typically post
never
what you
works out
like.
But
that
here,
way.
You know,
I hate the ones that like here in Texas, it'll be like overcasted, whatever, maybe a drop of rain. And you'll have people, hey, I know practice is in like 2 hours. Are we having practice? And I'll respond like, yes, Susan, we're gonna practice in the rain. There's nothing wrong. Is
Yeah.
your little
Karen,
is little
And
Karen.
everybody
Timmy going to
complains
melt?
about that.
Is she gonna melt?
Everybody's at home like,
but then,
God, I hope it gets rained out. And then when they get there, everything's
Yeah.
fine.
yeah, but then
It's
they'll
just kind of like,
complain when the kids don't get practice in.
oh,
And see,
everybody
I mean,
complains
when
Well,
I
about
played like
everything.
growing up,
Here's some. How old
yeah,
are your all's
when I
kids? I didn't mean
played,
to interrupt. How old are your all's kids though?
no, you're good. Mine's
12.
10.
I have
12.
a 9 and
12,
12.
9, and
Yeah, you're
5.
getting ready to get to. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you're getting ready to get to level of there is not a ton of practices. It's like you're going to go to high school and practice all the time, and then travel
Yeah.
ball goes away. You ain't starting travel ball until
Yeah.
May, and so that happens at like
Yeah.
13 and 14. You're about to, um,
You're about to phase
anyway,
out.
somebody texted
Oh,
me.
but we play year round in California.
Yeah, year
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
round.
about to
no,
say y'all are
and a lot of
different.
yeah, but the thing is though, is here's the thing. It's not like the major level players in the different states, they all play year round no matter what's going on in their state. Now the double A kids and even the triple A, it's like, well, like we're gonna shut it down here because we're all playing basketball. There's a lot of kids in Kentucky that just don't play Kentucky. They'll go like, but we do that, and a lot of people will, but those double A, I know some people out here that are like, well, we just, do 3 days out of the year or 3 months out of the year because they want to play all the sports. So there are like different,
See, we have
and
teams
I don't
like
think a
that
lot of
too.
people, yeah, well, and that's kind of been my thing with people is I'm like, you don't really understand the levels of travel ball unless you've been around the country, because a lot of it is the same in the different, but it's the different levels. Because I just personally think there's too many levels in travel ball. I think it just needs to be travel ball and then rec ball, and it's never going to be like that because everybody was
That's
like, well,
it.
we can't beat these
Yep.
better teams, so we're going to downgrade and just go play in this, Division II NCAA basketball level, or now we're Division III, and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
and all it is just because you're that's how you keep the teams in the tournaments, so the tournament directors can have fat tournaments and make more money. And listen, don't get me wrong, those are fun, but then you've got the other ones that are like, well, they'll just travel, and then it becomes, oh well, they just got all the money, and then it's a fundraising schools, and then everybody complains about everybody everywhere, and like you said, no matter what you do,
So
Hey,
what are
everybody's
your
always
thoughts
mad
about
about something.
what are your thoughts about those national teams that will literally pull the best kids from everywhere?
I think
And I'm
they're,
not going to
Like
name
the
any
current.
specific.
honestly,
I'm not
I'm
going to
doing
name
them right
any
now. I'm
The
doing it.
specific.
what
I'm
is
doing
it?
it
The
right now.
banditos or something?
Yeah,
But
listen,
they
I'm
The
will
Daddy
going
literally
after
do
Ballers.
them.
that.
I got
And
kids
how
from all over the
and
country.
these kids, I mean, they look like they're your guys' size and they're
It's
12. And so
a
like
They're
little
monsters.
blast.
Mateo, who's like
It's
95
so
pounds, is like,
much fun. It's so much fun. Like it's the best baseball. It's the umpires are the
Yeah.
best. The kid, there ain't no speakers anymore. There is canopies and there's a game changer, but
Oh,
but
Renee, we
it's
can't join.
such a mature level of it where it is like, oh my God, are
Yeah.
they not really treating these kids like little professionals? I've had parents reach
they
out to me
do.
about what their kids with promotion of NIL deals with my sunglasses, and I'm not,
Yeah.
listen, it's a lot of fun, and everybody
Well, especially
knows
Yeah.
their
because
role.
NIL has changed its rules now.
hmm
So
Yeah.
people can capitalize
But,
on the NIL versus like back then when I played, you couldn't touch certain things until you were kind of out and everything. You had to be very careful about it.
Well, there's different laws in different states too, and I've got into that because we do have a lot of athletes wearing them Soleros of mine, and you kind of got to know what to do and what not to do, and it's not really that difficult, but it is getting younger. Like it started off at pro, and then it went to college, and then high school, and you can see it because there's kids that I know all the time. People fly kids around, like and just say, "Come on
That's
out
what
here
I'm
and play in this
saying.
tournament," and they do that, and if you all were to ever play against those level of teams, oh my gosh, you wouldn't be able to stand those parents over there because they would just ruin you all because they are ruthless. It's a business. And then you have the rec
It
ball
is. It's a
areas
management
in
team
the
for
double
them.
A.
It's
Well, because most travel ball teams are
They're
like,
not
we're gonna
you're saying about multiple levels. How are those lower levels supposed to compete against
they can't.
those powerhouse programs?
Well, here's the thing.
They
Let me
can't.
I'll tell you how it is. A lot of places in different states, they get these coaches and then everybody gets all been at the lower level. They're like, well, my kid didn't get to play, I'm gonna make another team. We all know that stuff. And so they all spread out. And then all of these coaches in this area, because most people play the same teams every weekend within an hour radius, and then they go to one Florida trip a year, and they're like, we played in space or whatever,
Space
or
Coast.
Grand Park for a year. Yeah, Space Coast. And wherever you want to go. And it's like, we're a travel ball team. And it's like, yeah, but your other team just kind of flew down with you. And now you've got 3 of the Kentucky team. The way they compete, the problem is that type of level, a lot of those parents are like, well, I'm going to create another team. So then you got all these different people creating all these teams. Well, then it's like 2 good kids on every single team. And if they don't like this team, they go over here. And then this one goes over here. And they just do this all the time. Just do what East Cobb does. They got 3. They're like, we're going to put all the good kids here, just like we did when I was growing up. I was on a B team. That didn't make the A team. And then you have, here they are. But the parents in that level are like, well, I can't play for him. And all the moms then want to go everywhere. And the kids, it's just the whole thing. It's all about where you are and who's where in the county. It's all about the job. But if you could just have one, like I told everybody, I said, just put them all, the good Kentucky kids on one team in this area, and then do the second level. And if they are doing better, then move them up. Give them a chance to play at a tournament because some of these teams might have basketball or football. But we can't never do that out here. And it's the same thing in all these southeastern parts of the country, the states. Then you have like a select few that are just like, screw this. We're just going to go out of the state and just play everybody else because we're sick of playing these teams. And we're good enough because we're sick of beating them. And they're just mad at us all the time. And, oh, my God, we jumped around tournaments. That's exactly what's good. It's been in every single state that I've been to. And then all these parents are having all these stories. And then they, and so they write me and tell me about it. And I'm thinking, wow, it is everywhere. And
I'm curious about the ones that go overseas too to go play those games.
Yeah,
you have like this Facebook baseball play, and I'm like, is that stuff for real? Do people really go?
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, Hawaii,
level?
I met like all the Puerto Rican teams and the Hawaii teams, everything. They're out of state, but they did all, like they come here. I was in Indiana and a Hawaii team was playing, and then, all the I had a whole team just recently in Space Coast, and they were all from Puerto Rico, and I don't think any of them really spoke, much English.
See,
and they travel,
I do
and then,
remember
a lot of those
Space
Team
Coast,
USA
we
teams
had
will go
one.
out.
Yeah.
But I always see that like, hey, sign your kid up for this tournament. It was like in Japan, and I thought
Those are good. Well, not in Japan.
Really good.
But, so if you can sign your kid up to let him go
I'm
play,
like, that is like way out there.
That's the best thing to do. If you're on one of them teams and you want to get your kid noticed, you need to go let him play on a PG event that you get invited to on your email, because everybody's like, I ain't paying. It's fine, because those parents are like, most of the time the kids are a little more advanced. And so you start networking out there, and it's like, man, we really had a good time with you this weekend. Would you be interested in coming and play with us, next year? And if you just stay in touch with them, it's kind of not bad. It's like, no, we're going to go play with this team this weekend. And I always tell kids and parents, I'm like, it's like a job. It's like, if you're going to be going to a job, you might not get that job you wanted because some other person got it. Like I happened to me, and I was more qualified. Well, that's like playing shortstop, and then you might have different bosses, and that's where the different coaches come into play because when you start off, all it is just a parent who just played some baseball normally, and that's nothing wrong with that. They're just like, I can coach,
Yeah.
and then it starts off and it's easy, and then as you get older, it gets harder, and 13U is a lot different than 8U, and there's no reason I don't think
Yeah.
to pitch kids. I think you just let kids play everywhere until about 11 or 12, and just let them all play. And then when 13 happens, be like, this is what I need out of you because there's too many kids that are pitching way too much, and half of their team's not even pitching because they ain't even good enough to pitch at 9, so they're never going to pitch again by most of these parents. So they're going to stick with the top ones. But you're just wearing them kids' arms out. You might have a diamond in the rough over here you don't know about. He just takes a little time to get there.
You need
an
ebook. You need to have an
I go
ebook come out.
on. I've covered every topic.
He never stops.
He
started
I'm
this
just
whole
listening to him, like, you
conversation.
need something coming out for parents because he's just got stories and stories
I'm
and
doing
stories
a podcast. I'm trying a podcast thing. I'm gonna do like a video or two. I don't want to be a podcaster. I would just like to generate some topics, and because I think I'm really good at looking at it from different angles. And I probably just need to do it with you, honestly, Aaron. But
and he'll argue with himself. Like he'll give you both
I can
angles,
make a
and then he
case.
argues with
You're
himself.
right, because I could go either way. I could see the positive in playing three months out of a year. I can see the negative playing 3 months out of a year. I can see the positive playing all year long. I can see the negative playing all year long, and I could see it at different levels.
Yeah.
And I think it's
See,
all about
it's
what's
sad,
right
too,
with your
because
kid. You gotta listen to the kids.
this is our first year to
can't
take
tell them.
off.
I think it's
This
a
is our
delay. I don't
first
mean
year
to
to
keep
take
talking over
off,
y'all.
and it's
Sorry.
sadly, I'm kind of missing playing full time. I don't know what to do with myself on the weekends other than, okay, I got to check in with my clients. I got to go send some videos for somebody, but I'm like, I kind of miss it. as crazy as it
I'm gonna
gets
miss
at times.
this. Well, and that's kind of what I've got going on here. So my thought was, well, if I'm going to do these videos for I can't do them forever. I'm not. I don't even. It's fine. Like I'm fine.
Yeah.
I've done more. People just think it's like I can't believe retire. I'm like, God, I did that video 3 years ago. Like I don't care.
He's like,
So my thought
I
was,
need to
yes.
retire.
So me getting started on this organization that I'm doing, this Daddy Ballers thing, which there's some big talk going on with this now, and it really could be growing. I was going to have a separate elite level of this, and then have just let's just get some good people involved to do it, because my thought was, I'd like to at least leave something to be like, dang, that's a really good organization. How did that get started? Oh, well, you remember that dude that did those videos back in the day, and all the parents kind of trusted him, and because I've been really good with the kids and the parents, and I've been really good at managing all the personalities, because if you could just get out in front of it, and that's I was at Space Coast this past weekend. There's a few little things going on, and I knew these people well. I completely knew what was going on because I ended up sitting some kids and not playing all of them. And I went right up to those parents and I said, here's what's going on. And then I talked to their kids individually, and I said, this is why I did what I did. And, listen, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to learn this stuff. And this is what you're going to have to know getting older, and blah, 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 blah. And it just seems like, and it was so nice. And nobody was talking about anybody. And it was like, that's all you got to do. Because certain people you got to be upfront with, more than others. It just like certain kids, you got to coach different than others. And, and I've had a lot of different type of people. And, you got to know, even if your child, if he's good enough to play on a team, you can't penalize him because you're afraid of what other people are going to say, But I'm very fair with that. But I've been doing this for so long now that my son is fine. He's like, wherever, and I know not a lot of people are like that, but most of the kids that play for me get that way. And I've been seeing it, and I'm thinking, okay, if I can just get good people involved and not charge everybody out the ass for this, and then just back up and be like, here's a very fair and well-ran organization across the country that started with some videos that were funny at first, and they became informative. And then that's kind of where my head is with all of this. And sure, I'll still pop in and out with things and whatever. I'll be everywhere next year, but it's like, I can't I'm never going to be able to do this, and I'll phase out, and I know it. And now everybody's a baseball comedian, and so this is me getting real with y'all, because most of my podcasts are like, "Oh my God, that one you did when you were hitting the ball really hard to your son, it was the best one I ever did." And I'm like, whew. So that's so I'm taking it to my man. So not to bring everything down, but I mean, I'm trying to, do something right with this.
Dead.
Mark started with saying if you had any clue of what goes on behind the scenes, like if we just had a sneak peek of what goes on in between those ears.
Gosh.
Like,
I mean, it's awful. It's e-commerce.
we couldn't expose the world to that.
Listen, I'm about to go. Hey, I have videos. I'm about to go film a softball team for some content, so I can see like this is what's behind the scenes that goes on that people don't see.
Yeah.
But it is true. Like I worked really close with our tournament director, and I will say the stuff that I heard come from other parents' mouths that they would do for their kid, the bashing of the organization, the toxic environment.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and if parents,
what did I say?
You didn't. I don't think I've been fortunate enough to kind of see it from the tournament director's standpoint. I see the amount of work some of these dudes put in, and girls, but they're all over softball, baseball, rec, seen it all. And there are certain people that do it so well. And, there is so much work that goes in, and the amount of phone calls these guys get, it's like literally pre-weekend,
it's insane,
during the weekend, in between when you're at home, afterwards or whatever. It is just, and I look at these dudes and it's a lot, but that could be a whole episode of just life behind the travel ball, because not only
we
that,
just need to do this more often.
Let's do
this. Is like this is your content, Aaron.
Yeah.
It
is cool seeing
Mark and I have talked about.
I've seen you all follow and click. It's like, oh my God, there they are. So that's pretty neat.
Well, Mark and I have talked about.
I just seeing you pop up. I was like, oh my
Mark,
God.
this started with us saying we would want your travel ball mom persona as a guest to sit with us. We'd have to have the
That would be funny.
And she's
because I've already got takes on. Like, listen, Miss Renee, you one of them moms. I'm telling you, I could see it, and I'm watching, and I'm like, boy, I would love to interview some of the parents on YouTube.
You should.
She's over. Y'all
love me.
Oh man!
Which team?
Oh, Aaron, bro.
I didn't even know that. I'm just saying.
He done open a can of worms.
It wasn't her fault. It wasn't her fault.
I'm just kidding.
Not at all.
Totally kidding.
Not her baby.
My stance on travel ball would actually surprise people, but I actually care more about development.
Oh, mine would too. Like, I just told my son. A friend of mine that a kid I know, real good kid, just he just hurt his arm, and I was telling my son about it, like literally like a minute. And he was like, "Oh my God!" He was like, "You got it?" I said, "Yeah, dude." And he goes, "Why?" I said, "Because they play too much at a young age." I said, "You play too much." I was like, I told him that, and I was like, that's why I'm so concerned. I was like, because I don't care if he plays. Dude, let's be honest. If one parent in this thing could get their kid seen by him, it's me. And I'm gonna tell you right now, he's gonna end up being some smart, business manager doing IT stuff or something, because I've seen the kids at that level, and they're all 6'10". You know what I mean? They're like, I had a kid on my team right now. He's 6'3", 260 pounds, and there's probably 50 of those kids in the country at 13. And those are the ones, and that's why I'm like, you take care of yourself, big guy. I'll see you soon, and it's just, I just want him. I don't want my son hurt. I don't want him to have surgery at 13.
Yeah.
I've never had surgery.
Right.
I put him at second base, and I sit him a lot, and we watch his pitch count, and we don't let him throw a ton. And I don't care what it is, because I couldn't tell you what World Series we won 2 years ago that was so important that he needed to pitch in Panama City, But I know what's coming, and I'm thinking he's gonna play high school, he's gonna play college. I already know that. It's like, okay, he's good.
Yeah.
And He wants it. He don't play any other sports, and I'm and you know, and I know about 30 other kids right now in my hometown the same exact way, and I know they're going to be the ones because you know, and I don't know, man. I try to not take it serious. All I do is tell people this stuff, every different
That's how we
levels
got
of it, you
started,
know,
though. I mean,
and
wouldn't you think that's like
I
what
know,
Mateo do? I mean, like I want to say when
Yeah.
Mateo was 8,
yeah,
we were starting to get really into it. That's why we started making content with his page because I'm like, he's a kid. You can't get mad at a kid for making fun of coaches and
yeah, and that's
parents,
going to
right?
help, and that's a whole
So
other
I'd
topic
stop
right
it.
there, Aaron.
Yeah,
That right
I'd
there,
slap a
that's what
wig
people
on
look
him.
at that.
You're right, and I'd slap a
People
wig
look
on
at
him,
a
and he'd make
child,
fun of
yeah,
moms, and they're like, "Ooh, like
Let's do it.
that's funny, right?" He's a kid, but so we can't get
yeah,
upset that he's making fun of us. And then it's evolved into what it is
no,
because it's never
yeah,
been about, Aaron asked us a great question before you jumped on. He asked us like what our favorite, travel ball moment has been. And none of us on this call said it was because we won the World Series and we got all the bling and we're kids are
it was
master
the
of making.
friendships. I think it was just hanging out with
It
people.
is.
I've had the
It was,
best
It's
time,
the friendships we formed in
and
this and with
yeah,
teams.
Like we get to meet each other and like our kids get all these cool opportunities
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like that's what it's been about. And so like if anything, I take those moms and those parents and those fence leaning dads and like let's laugh at ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's laugh at ourselves.
yeah,
It's a
Yeah,
short
for real.
yeah. Well,
Fence
and
leaning.
you're right because it's over, and even right now, those videos that
Yeah.
I do, they're more geared. A lot of them more geared towards the younger age, you know. And then the group meets will always be funny and all that stuff. But it's gone. Like and people, you're starting to see people. This is just my age, you know, because at 13, you're starting to say, okay, these kids are playing here more now. Wow, he's not playing baseball anymore. He's just a football player. Man, you ever think they do? You know, remember the arguments we had about, oh my God, in the beginning, and it was always a reality show. I was like, I pray that somebody at some point down the road puts me on something and just says,
I've been
just
asking.
narrate, just pop
We've
in.
been trying.
Bravo. I'll take the lowest cable network, dude. Like, honestly, let's do this.
I've
like,
talked to TLC. I've talked to some people from TLC about it. They said you need a script. And I said, you don't need a script. You need...
No, you don't need a script to travel
Don't need a
ball.
script.
No.
Well, to be fair, you
The
could have a
content
script, but
provides
there's
itself.
no way you would be able to be in a house where the real juicy stuff is. You know what I'm saying? Because those conversations behind closed doors, you know the level they get to. And nobody will admit that outside of that. Because we've been around, you know, they start having alliances. It's like having, listen, it gets
and
out.
I thought about it. I've thought about it hypothetically. I'm like, all right, let's say someone reaches out and it's like, hey, can your team be on the show? So now I've got to take 12 NDAs to each family and be like, listen, sign this and we can be famous. They'd be like, hell no, because I don't want to put all my...
I would trash everybody.
We talked about that. Like the skeletons that they pull out of your closet.
Oh yeah, Miss Yoga Pant walking around. I'd be telling everybody, put me on. I'd sign everything. Let's go. I would. I'd be like, guess what he did?
Listen, I wouldn't want them to pull out that I tripped a girl during a game and then shoved her in the bathroom. I wouldn't want them pulling out like the dirty stuff I did as a player.
Choke up kids and everything else. Yeah, their own. I see the worst stuff.
As
I have the best
as a player,
script,
I was a
though.
little dirty.
The what script?
That's the best script. We're gonna have to. We're gonna send it to Mark.
I ain't saying any names.
Well, hold on.
I've learned. I'm smart. Y'all can talk about it.
I got clipboard, Mom. That's what I got.
Thank you so much, you ladies, for spending your time with us. We have taken a lot of time, valuable time of yours, and I want to say thank you so much. And we got to finish out the show.
I loved it.
And
this was fun.
Listen, we started the show.
Mark's like, can I join y'all now?
He can. He is. He's here now.
He can be in our club. I don't think he'd survive our group chat though.
No,
he ain't ready.
Well, I got into a baseball mom club.
Mark, I'm gonna need
Mark. Thing.
I remember that you were in the Facebook group.
Sorry, Aaron.
And poor Aaron. He's like, all right,
Aaron. Okay, sorry. All right.
I'm just trying to close the episode. I know everybody's excited, and listen, if you like this, we can do this more. So let us know. Give us some content. We can do this live if we wanted to. Like we could do this YouTube live, and we can make it a weekly show.
Oh wait, no, you can't do YouTube live. Good ear.
All right. Well, listen, ladies. The way we end every episode is we let you guys start it with play ball, and we're going to end it with "I'll catch you on the slide." So. I'm going to say until next time, ladies. Actually, Mark, you do it. I want you to say until next time, ladies.
Yeah.
And then you ladies have to say, we'll catch you on the slide. Okay?
We'll catch you on the slide.
All right. Well, until next time, ladies.
We'll catch you on the slide.
We'll catch you on the slide.
There you go.
That worked.